Hey, what's up, Choombas? Today we're going to be reviewing Cyberpunk 2077. We're going to give you the download on Keanu Reeves' character, our character builds, the size of our schlongs, and all that good stuff. So be sure to join us, and let's get to it.
What's going on, guys? Hopefully I didn't lose too many of you all there with that little fake intro. I'm just a little excited about the Cyberpunk launch. Thought I'd have a little fun with James, dress him up all sci-fi since he's the wilderness guy, and want to try and get as much use out of these glasses as I can. They were like $15, so enough with all that, guys. It is time to announce the winner of our little giveaway. I have all the names here of the entries. I thought I'd do this old school like Mando. I don't really trust the droids or the internet, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this manually. I got all the names right here. I'm gonna use Boba's helmet right here to help me out. So here we go, guys. Let's find out who won. This is America only, guys, and I am gonna be picking like 3 names, I think, just in case for whatever reason the first 2 people can't get them. Well, I'll have backups, or the first person can't get it, I'll have a backup. So without looking here, and the winner of my first giveaway is Michelle Jaskinia. Congratulations, Michelle. Really happy for you. These glasses are going to be amazing. They're right here. I'll be getting these shipped out to you. I'll be messaging you first and then getting these shipped out to you as soon as possible. Hopefully you can get them around Christmas time. Again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for entering. Thank you so much for watching the videos and commenting. It means a lot to me and James. We really appreciate it. And it just helps us, you know, gives us the confidence and the willingness to keep going with these, man. We really enjoy it. And hopefully we can just continue to do it. So thank you guys so much again, and let's go ahead and get to the review. Welcome back, guys. It's Ben and James for another Mando review. Today we're talking about Chapter 15, The Believer.
Now, The Believer is directed by Rick Famuyiwa. I could be mistaken on that last name. I apologize. Rick actually directed episodes 2 and 5 of season 1, so he's back for this time around.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Alright, so this episode definitely picks up, I feel, towards the second half. And you'd think being like the penultimate episode, this is the one before the finale, guys, before the last episode of the season. Like, we're expecting big things, you know, it's been escalating. This one seems kind of like a downward.
Yeah, like it has a lot of character development. You know, it's getting us closer to the end game. So it does have its moments, but just overall, it almost feels like the least the Mandalorian type. You know what I mean? It's almost like a spin-off.
So the episode starts off on this like junkyard planet. So I mean, that's cool. It's good to see, like, again, new environments are always great. Mm-hmm. It's good to see like this little prison colony where Bill Burrs is working, just like fixing scrap. He has a lot of quips throughout this whole episode that I'm not a real big fan of. A lot of it falls flat for me. There's never a moment in this episode where I'm like laughing out loud.
I think this episode's meant to make him more serious because he's got this like annoying,
definitely,
you know,
towards the end.
Yeah, but this one kind of fleshes him out as a character as opposed to like this walking little, you know, Pez dispenser of little one-liners. But yeah, so we see him in the scrapyard. He's working. You know, obviously we know in season 1 Mandalorian locked him up. You know, so he was doing his time, and then Cara Dune comes and, you know, you're coming with me because I'm a space ranger, so I can flex this new authority. And he's like, where are you taking me? What? If I was Mayfield and I'm in the slammer, and Cara Dune wants to take me somewhere, I'd be like, let's go.
And also, this is where we get to see Boba Fett's new shiny clothes.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, Boba Fett's armor was very jarring to me. The first thing I thought of when I saw that is that meme that, oh no, baby, what is you doing?
What is you doing?
I mean, keep in mind, you know, for the 34 years of my existence, I just know Boba Fett as a scratched up, beat up guy. I kind of just assumed he never took care of his armor, but apparently he does. I mean, not only that, he got a new rifle. In this one, he's got a brand new Blastech E3. I mean, the dude went to the nearest sporting goods store, got a paint job, got new guns. I mean, he even looks fit. He's been hitting that Tybo in the Slave 1 while traveling because he's looking a little trim there.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
I mean, when you're gonna have 2 hot girls riding with you, you gotta kind of.
He was like,
it up,
yeah, that's probably what it was, dude. He was like, I got Fennec, I got Dune here. I should really start making myself look a little bit more presentable.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta say, the Slave 1 is a lot more roomier than I thought it was.
Yeah, dude, me too. I'm like, where's all this happening in? Because like I can't picture like what compartment are they in?
You talked about Pimp My Ride. They should have done a MTV Cribs episode on the Slave One, because I want to see what kind of other compartments they got in there. So off we go to Morak. They have this whole discussion about who's gonna come with me. Mando's like, I'll do it, but I'm not showing my face. I promise I'm not showing my face. I don't want to do it.
And then he asks Boba Fett, like, Fett, and he's like, let's just say they'd recognize my face.
I like that.
That was a cool little...
I like that a lot.
If anybody stole the one-liner in the one-liner joke in the fucking episode, it was Boba.
So then they go and they get into the little caterpillar thing with the Rhydonium, I don't know, Rhydinium, whatever it's called. It's the material that'll blow up. It's pretty cool to see them in the ship, or in the little, I don't know what to call it.
It's like a big tank. It's a big transport.
He said tank.
They call it a juggernaut. That's the juggernaut class type. Like, it's just the... Oh, it's the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah, it's the Juggernaut, bitch.
I just had to throw it in there. Oh, they're undercover, by the way. So they got to do the classic Star Wars tradition of we got to dress up like stormtroopers.
Yeah.
And go in there. And it's a big moment for Mando, because Mando decides to just man up. And, it's this important. You could tell this really means a lot to him, that he's willing to take off his best car and put on this armor.
And it's really cool to see that on their way, like, they're getting blown up. The other ones that are ahead of them are getting blown up. There's an attack. There's an attack on the convoy that's happening.
For me, what I found very interesting is while they're driving, Mando and Mayfield are like...
Bill Burrs.
They start discussing, like, about, depends on what side you're born. It makes no difference to these people, like, whether it's New Republic or Empire or even Mandalorians. Like,
depends on how you were raised and your point of view.
Exactly. And that's sadly very true. As, it's a really deep thing to talk about, even for Star Wars.
And I like that. Like, I get what they're trying to do. Like, they're trying to drive home these, like, morals and, like, really nice messages. But it just felt very... like forced in a way, because like Mando's just sitting there not talking, and then all of a sudden Bill Burr wants to try and have this really deep conversation with him. And I was like, this is weird, but I mean it's just very transparent what they're trying to do.
The whole point, I feel, is like the point of this episode almost is to show that he is a human being and he does have a heart. He even makes Mando question, like, what about the Mandalorians? Like, the ancient Mandalorians, like, conquered. They had slaves. I don't think they mentioned that, but the true Mandalorians in history, they were warmongers. So for Mandalorian who views them as a noble race, this whole season he's kind of questioning, like, what he's been taught, and I can't remove my helmet, and all these things. So it's kind of...
that is one thing I really liked about that whole conversation they have in the car, is that the car.
Don't you know who I am?
The Juggernaut.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Is that he's like, what is it with you? Is it that you can't take off your helmet, or that you can't show your face? Because one is not the same as the other.
Yeah, two different
And I was
things.
Like, dude, that's a really good question. I was like,
Mando couldn't even answer that. He was like,
He was like, oh, we're coming up to the base here. Make a left.
Yeah. Okay, so this whole transport moment, they're getting attacked, so Mando has to go up there and fight.
It's a very much just an excuse to get some choreography in.
Yeah.
To see some cool choreography for the Mandalorian. Most of it is, nothing new. We've seen choreography like this for years. If you're like us, you watch a lot of action flicks, you've seen this kind of thing over and over again. So I kind of like almost tune out during things like this.
There was nothing that stood out. Like,
one thing stood out, and it was just the really cool spear throw he had at a crucial moment.
Oh yeah,
I love that. I love the spear throw. The other cool part is when you think they're completely screwed, TIE fighters come in and save the day.
They obliterated those freedom fighters.
So then we get to the whole terminal scene, which was the whole point of the mission. This is where it picks up for me. This is where I start getting into it more, because they have this scene that's really reminiscent to a scene from Inglourious Bastards, if any of you guys have seen that movie. Amazing Tarantino movie. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just trying to meet up. They're trying to rendezvous, but not a Nazi, like, officer is there or something. And, like, they have this really tense conversation. There's a lot of that vibe in this, because there's that Imperial officer. Bill Burr is like, oh, he's going to recognize me. I don't know. I don't want to do this anymore. The Mando being like, all right, shut up. I'll do it. And he goes to the thing, and he's like, I don't want to show my face. But then it's a face scanner, so he has to take off his helmet. And we get to see Pedro Pascal's beautiful face again.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
So he takes it off. It's a very subtle moment, but really when you stop and think about it, like, that was a milestone for him.
Bill Burr saves his ass right here and, like, steps up when he's, like, getting questioned and stuff. By the way, he does download the information he needs because of the facial recognition, which who knows where that's gonna go, because now they have his face.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, now the Empire has his face, and they're gonna figure it out somehow, some way, and they're gonna know what this dude looks like. Yeah. So I mean, who knows where that's gonna go. But Bill Burrs saves him because the officer's questioning him, and he kind of locks up a little bit.
Yeah, he's like, trooper. Yeah. There's more tension here than we saw on the Juggernaut tank driving, in my opinion.
Even the shots kind of feel like Tarantino, because he shoots the one dude, and then they look over and they see this other dude who notices, and then Bill Burr like, boo, like the way like he moves back and shoots him is so cool, man. The way it looks realistic.
Homie was on lunch break though. Homie was barely getting like his hash browns,
tray, bro, with his little milk carton and all stuff ready.
Poor guy, man.
And then he starts gunning down everybody, and it's a really cool scene. That scene really brought up the episode for me.
I feel like
the first half was
the
not that
scene.
Fun.
That's the scene of the episode, like the shining moment.
Yeah. Then they start like making their way out the vents. We get to see Cara Dune and Fennec together. They look very cool side by side. I love their costumes, and they both have these awesome sniper rifles.
I love that. I love to see like strong women. I hate like a damsel in distress. I think it's just so like
played out.
So I love seeing like these girls are kicking ass. Fett's in Slave One ready to like just let me know when to go get them. You
Fett's
know,
ready, dude. Fett.
He shows up the least, but he always steals the show. As soon as like they mention him, he comes out like.
Right when you need him, there he is.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is another thing I wanted to bring up is that they're making their way out of the vent, and then they're like shooting these guys. They're sniping them, and they're falling, and everybody's like, ah. I was so surprised that I didn't hear a Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like, bro, Disney. Hey, Disney, don't worry about it. I'm gonna edit that in right now.
Got him.
If there was any time to put a Wilhelm scream in, it was this time.
I know. Why didn't they do that?
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
It's okay, though. I covered you. I already put the edit in. And Boba shows up right on time with his Slave One. Love that Slave One, baby. Mm-hmm. And then they jump into it, and it's time to get out of there. They get tailed by these two TIE fighters. And another moment that I've been waiting to happen ever since the Slave One came back into the picture happens. And we get it. And I loved it. I'm talking about the seismic charge, by the way. Which episode is it? Episode 2?
Attack of the Clones. Jango Fett trying to lose Obi-Wan on the asteroid field of Geonosis.
Seismic charges.
One of the best sound effects that's ever been used in any movie ever.
Before they do that, though, there's this moment where they're escaping, and Mayfield tells Mando, "Hey, give me that blaster." He calls it something else.
The cycler rifle.
Yeah. Boom, and he hits the Rhydonium that they delivered earlier. Boom.
Because the officer was like, "Yeah, we're gonna use that shit, and we're gonna blow these dudes up, and they're not gonna know what hit them. It's gonna be make whatever blew up your family look like." We're making toast or something.
There's a little bit of a story here with Mayfield, how he has like almost like PTSD. Yeah. Because he shoots it, he explodes that whole base, and he's like, we all have to sleep at night. Like, so he's obviously haunted by what he did for the Empire. So it makes him more human than just like this, once again, like this little Pez dispenser of one-liners. Yeah, and they're like, oh, it's a shame that, this prisoner died in this explosion. Yeah. But I'm like, why are you letting him go in the jungle? He's going to end up a slave in this village, or they're going to kick his ass.
It was weird, yeah. He's going to have to like find his way in this weird planet that he knows nothing about. But
he's going to get eaten by a giant iguana or something.
He knew of the planet, so maybe he does know his way around a little bit. I mean, he's a convict. Who cares? They're going to let him figure his own way out. At least he's not in prison.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, it beats being stuck in the scrapyard. So
let him be free and figure his own way. He is now free, and I'm sure we will see him again very soon in the next season, or in his own gosh darn shoot off, because Disney just announced
like 10
an amazing amount. I think we might record like a separate video.
Yeah, on all the new shows,
just talking about that a little bit. But anyway,
Jeans Guy, the series.
The Jeans Guy. We haven't brought that up, but man, that was a funny controversy.
He's getting his own series now.
So we're gonna end the episode now. We get to Moff Gideon back on the ship. His little underlings come up to him and they're like, "Oh, you gotta see this, boss." And then it's Mando in a hologram, and he's like, "Hey, bro," and he repeats the
from season
speech.
1, the series finale. You may think you know what you have, but you do not. But now it's a reversal.
Yeah, he played him, man. We know that Mando is coming for this dude.
Yeah. And he's bringing his A game. I mean, he's bringing Boba. He's bringing Cara Dune, Fennec Shand. What if it's like a Magnificent Seven kind of thing? So we
you
got
probably read that.
4 of these people, but then Bo-Katan shows up, Ahsoka Tano, like Jean's guy
The Force Ghost of Quio comes out.
with 2 lightsabers.
Let's go ahead and get into our ratings. I'm gonna go ahead and go first. This one didn't really. I wanted to give it a 6 because it just, like I said, I tuned out, bro. Like the first half of this episode, I tuned out. But then that scene in the cafeteria, and it really brought it up for me. Yeah. And the whole latter half of the episode was great. So I'm giving it a 7.
For me, I'm gonna go with 7 too.
Oh, nice.
I don't think it's a bad episode. I really don't. I think if anything, it's not the strongest, I wouldn't say, but there's just a lot of firsts. There's a lot of moments that are changing. You can see that the characters are evolving. Like from Mayfeld showing that he's a human being as opposed to just this asshole to Mando willing to, he loves his kid so much he's willing to put away his pride and his insecurities aside to at least try,
The one thing I forgot to bring up, I'm sorry to interrupt. There's an orchestral, as soon as the episode starts, there's an orchestral rendition of the music, and it's really well done. I loved hearing this newer version of the music.
I did not notice that.
Yeah. Very beginning, dude, you can hear it. There's a lot more strings involved. Really cool. I love that part. So hats off to the music directors and all that. All right, guys, that's gonna be it from us for this episode. I am Ben. This has been
James. Comment what you thought about it, and what you think is gonna happen. Let's see who's gonna call it.
Ooh, yeah, that's very nice. Yeah, that's a good little challenge there. Once again, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next one.
Cheers.
Till next week.